general elections were held in Ghana to elect the president and members of parliament. The question is, do the hidden drawbacks of elections overshadow their potential benefits? Let's dive into this in this video. Talking about Ghana, let's locate Ghana in the world. Ghana is in the African continent. Specifically, Ghana is in the West African region of the continent. Ghana is in West Africa. This country is divided into 16 regions, with its capital being Accra. Every 4 years on the 7th of December, the citizens of Ghana decide on their leaders. During the elections, the citizens choose the president and the members of parliament. The president serves a 4-year term and is limited to 2 terms, thus making it a maximum of 8 years. Have you ever thought of when the first election was held in Ghana? The first ever election to be organized in Ghana was held on the 27th April 1960. In this election, there were only 2 candidates, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of the Convention People's Party and Dr. J.B. Dankwa of the United Party. In fact, you cannot talk about the history of Ghana without talking about these notable men who are also part of the Big Six. When we talk about election is defined as the formal process through which a population chooses an individual or multiple individuals for public office. Ghana, like many other countries, practices democratic governance, which means that power is invested in the people, who in turn exercise that power directly through election of representatives. And that is where election comes in. The question is, what are some of the benefits and drawbacks of elections? Let's analyze them here. Elections allow citizens to choose representatives who reflect their values, interests, and priorities. Imagine what would have happened if citizens were not allowed to choose their own leaders. The second one we can talk about is accountability. Through elections, electorates are able to hold their officers accountable. If representatives fail to meet the expectations of their constituents, they can be voted out of office in subsequent elections. The third one is legitimacy. Elections confer legitimacy on the government. A government that is selected by a majority is seen as more legitimate and has a stronger mandate to govern. Civic engagement is another important benefit of elections. The act of voting fosters a sense of community. It encourages everyone to learn about things that affect their country. When people talk about these issues and make choices together, it makes them feel like they are part of a team working to make things better for everyone. We cannot talk about the benefits of elections without talking about structured and peaceful transition of power. A smooth transition of power is vital for several reasons, like stability. When power is transferred peacefully, it fosters political stability, and this encourages investment, economic growth, and even social cohesion as the citizens feel secure in their rights and the governance. A smooth transition of power is also essential for conflict prevention. A well-organized transition reduces the risk of conflict. In the absence of elections, power struggles can emerge, leading to protests, violence, or even civil wars, as competing factions vie for control. Historical examples abound, where the failure to have a peaceful transition resulted in significant unrest and loss of lives. What are some of the drawbacks of elections? Elections, while a fundamental aspect of democratic governance, can have several disadvantages. First, let's look at the cost. Elections can be extremely expensive to organize and conduct on the part of the country as well as on the part of the aspirant, as they require significant financial resources for campaigning, advertising, and logistics. I'm sure we've all seen instances where we've seen t-shirts, billboards, all of them bearing names of potential presidential hopefuls and aspirants, and these all involve huge sums of money. Voter apathy. Another significant drawback of elections is voter apathy. Many eligible voters may feel apathetic or disengaged from the electoral process, leading to low voter turnout and questions about the legitimacy of the results. Then we can also talk about partisan polarizations. Elections can cause divisions within society, leading to increased polarization and hostility between different political groups. Another factor to think about is short-term focus. Sometimes the politicians may prioritize short-term measures to win elections rather than addressing long-term issues or sustainable policies. What do you think about this? Another interesting one to look at is gerrymandering. And what is gerrymandering? The manipulation of electoral district boundaries for political advantage, which can also undermine the fairness of elections and distort representation. Misinformation and manipulation. The spread of misinformation, especially through social media, can also distort public perception and influence voting behavior based on false narratives. Finally, let me talk about this drawback of elections, which is often underrated, and it has to do with psychological impact. The competitive nature of elections can lead to stress and anxiety among candidates and even voters, impacting mental health and civic engagement. And these are the drawbacks or the disadvantages of elections that I wanted to share with you. So then, who qualifies to vote in Ghana? Every citizen of Ghana of 18 years of age or above and of sound mind has the right to vote and is entitled to be registered as a voter for the purposes of public elections. The Electoral Commission of Ghana has the sole mandate to organize, conduct, and supervise all public elections in the country. If you are a non-Ghanaian, how do you call this commission in your country? I would want to know in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. Now, considering all the benefits and drawbacks of elections, what is your own opinion about the electoral process or about elections? Drop your comments below.